Let's get into the Monday Nighter because it is a fascinating one. Monday, October 16th, 8:15 p.m. Eastern. Dallas Cowboys 3-2, 1-2 on the road. The LA Chargers 2-2, 1-1 at home. We're at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. Let's get into the line history for the Monday Nighter. Start with the spread. We're sitting here with the Chargers at +2. God, I wish the Cowboys didn't look so bad against the Niners.
I know it.
Messes up the whole plan. The +2 opened up -103. It's now +2 at -110. Let's get into the total for this one. Sitting at 50.5. It opened up at 49.5. It's climbed to 50.5. That 50.5 is juiced to the over. That does surprise me. Let's get into the cash flow here for this one. On the spread, we have 39% of the tickets and 82% of the cash on the Cowboys, but slight move to the Chargers. On the total, you have 87% of the tickets, 96% cash on the over. Cowboys coming off that disastrous 42-10 loss to San Francisco. Dak looked awful. 14-24 for 153 yards, a touchdown, 3 interceptions. The Cowboys were destroyed. They were outgained 421 to 197, made 0 trips to the red zone. CeeDee Lamb led receivers with 4 catches for 49 yards. The ground attack could do nothing. Combined for 19 carries for 57 yards. Tony Pollard ran 8 for 29, caught 4 for 35. He also lost a fumble. The defense could get no pressure on Purdy. Finished with 1 sack, 2 quarterback hits. 49ers went 4 or 5 in the red zone, 6 of 11 on third down. And then Leighton Vander Esch, it's too bad. It's just same neck trouble that he's had since his days at Boise. So he's going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks with a neck injury. Safety Donovan Wilson left with a leg injury. He had to be assisted off the field. And, Jordan Lewis and Deron Bland suffered injuries in the second half, or they just didn't want to be out there anymore. Their wide receiver, also all-pro return man, Kevontae Turpin, who caught the only touchdown. He suffered a high ankle sprain, so he's out 4 to 6 weeks. CJ Goodwin, the special teams, very important on special teams, suffered a torn pectoral. He'll be done for the rest of the season. And this is already a team already down Trayvon Diggs. As soon as he left, the cracks started showing. And they can't lose. They can't afford to lose more. Chargers coming off their bye week. They were last seen an underwhelming 24-17 victory at home over the Raiders. They've had double-digit leads in 3 games, only to see them barely, all go down to the final minute. They lost in overtime in Tennessee in week 2. They held on to beat Minnesota and Vegas. And this is the league's second worst ranked defense right now. And they just, got rid of J.C. Jackson, who signed that 5-year, $82.5 million contract. So Asante Samuel, Michael Davis, and Jasir Taylor are going to be the starting quarterbacks for the rest of the season. And Michael Davis and Asante Samuel are 2 of the 6 lowest rated in the league in percentage of making a play on the ball via pass, defense, or interception.
Wow.
I don't know how this is going to get fixed. And now they are pressuring the quarterback, and we saw Khalil Mack with the franchise, record 6 sacks. And Herbert has a broken middle finger on his left hand. He's not expected to miss any time. It's his non-throwing hand. You have Austin Eckler, who's missed 3 games with the high ankle sprain. He's, they're hoping that he's back. Joey Bosa with the hamstring and the toe. Derwin James with the hamstring. Gilman with the heel. They were all sidelined versus the Raiders. Corey Linsley is out at least the next 3 games with that heart issue. And after this, they travel to Kansas City, and 4 of their next 7 games are on primetime. Look, I want the Chargers, and maybe I just bet the Chargers, but goddamn, it doesn't help that the Cowboys look so bad. And, this is a buy low spot on the Cowboys, and I don't, I can't. How can you have any faith in this Chargers team when you watch them week after week? It's very difficult. They have high-end talent, and they need to win this game, and so do the Cowboys. But the Cowboys could just, they could just be done with all these injuries and the way they're looking. And then, I know a lot of people are saying, well, that's bullshit. They can do this, they can do that. It's a great buy low opportunity on the Cowboys, and I wish it wasn't. I want the Chargers, and maybe I should just go ahead and bet the Chargers, but betting a team with such horrible defense is not comforting. Take it away for us here, Troy. The Monday Nighter, Cowboys Chargers at SoFi.
Yeah, so this is a game where obviously the first thing I think of when I look at this game is, man, this coaching staff for both sides is a coaching staff I'd like to fade. why am I saying that? Because I've been backing the Chargers and this shitty fucking coach that continues to make bonehead decisions just like McCarthy. So, but yeah, two coaches that are not very good. But I think personally that it remains to be seen how good this Cowboys team is, specifically their defense. Their strength of schedule, even after this game against the Niners, is 24th. And other than the Niners, who's this team played? They handled the Giants, the Jets, the Cards, and the Patriots. They lost to the Cards. They didn't handle them boys. I mean, those are three of the worst, or those are four of the worst offenses in the NFL. And then they get the Niners, and they get absolutely ran off the field. It was a very embarrassing performance, which makes it hard to bag the Chargers in the spot. So I get it. Going back and forth on that. This was my last bet that I had made on the Chargers. But is this a top five deserving title for this Cowboys defense? I don't know. And offensively, Dak still has one of the lowest air yards per attempt in the NFL. The guys he's grouped around, Zach Wilson, Bryce Young, Daniel Jones, Mac Jones, Kenny Pickett, that's the list I keep finding Dak Prescott on in this offense. Dak Prescott's ADOT, average depth of target, is down 20% year over year with McCarthy, who just wants to run the ball. He wants the play calling, right? Well, everything so far that I'm looking at does not look good for this team. And that list that I mentioned is not a list you want to be on. If Dak didn't get significant help from his defense in the wins, I mean, look at his advanced metrics in those two games versus the Cardinals and versus the 49ers when they don't have a massive lead because of defensive scores and defensive turnovers. They're one of the worst. He's one of the worst quarterbacks in the league in those two games. Not to mention the Cowboys' offensive line is currently grading out as 25th in the NFL in pass block, which kind of sticks out to me because we've seen Khalil Mack kind of heat up and warm up a little bit. He looked a lot better against Pittsburgh, who's known to be in the NFL right now. They have a high pass blocking grades across the line. So that kind of sticks out. If they could pressure Dak Prescott, you could see what happens when Dak Prescott's under pressure. He doesn't perform very well. And we know what we're getting out of this Chargers team at this point. They're explosive, dynamic on offense, and they're very poor on the defensive side. The return of offense of Austin Eckler will definitely help this offense in terms of running the ball. And I personally think that Herbert's one of the best QB talents in the NFL. The Chargers team always plays to its competition, whether that's down or up. Go look at when they played when the spread's close. I mean, they play teams tough when that spread is when they're dogs, especially. And I think that Dak Prescott will fall under pressure. I must take that 2.5. This key to the games for the Chargers, like literally, the main thing that they have to do is to not turn the ball over. When the Cowboys defense doesn't force a turnover, they're 0-2. They have not won a game. Just play bend but don't break. Let the Cowboys just keep them out of the end zone at all costs. Let them move the ball up and down the field. Just don't give up the big plays and run the ball on this Cowboys defense. And I think with those three things, they should have success. I think Chargers plus 2.5 and Chargers on a teaser is definitely an option. I like this game. I like the Chargers.
I want to bet the Chargers bad. It's just hate the feeling of fading a team after getting destroyed publicly and all the motivation factors. But I like getting Leighton Vander Esch off the field, and it seems like look. I don't know if Jordan Lewis or Deron Bland have real injuries. They're very important now with what's gone on, losing Trayvon Diggs. But I want to bet the Chargers so badly. Did you already move on them plus 2.5?
Yes, I did.
Okay, the 2.5s aren't available anymore, but the 2s are fine.
Well, you can get the 2.5 at the most public book in the world right now. FanDuel, I think, is still hanging at 2.5. You probably don't have that option, do you? It's the only one left that I see. And I think part of that, like they hang some different numbers than the rest of the books, is because they offer shitty juice on teasers. So it's like they're trying to invite, like that Lions game. They held it at 8.5 for longer than anybody else did last week, and it's because they want these people taking minus 146-point teasers.
Fuck, I have to bet the Chargers. Sky Dragon, I bet the Chargers. Rod's wacky loving the under. You know what? These moving on these Monday games 6 days before have not been working for me, but I just what's happening to Dallas is real. And now that they're even more banged up, it's just real. And the Chargers should be a lot stronger than they've been. Yeah, I hear you, Birdie. Birdie liking this spot with the Cowboys. It makes me so nervous, but it feels somewhat similar to the Patriots spot where you could find angles why the Patriots were going to bounce back and Belichick was going to bounce back. And I said, I don't care. I'm on the Saints money line. And here with the Chargers off the bye week, I mean, we can't trust Staley off a bye week.
How about the Patriots in the bounce back spot against the Cowboys? The Cowboys destroyed them.
Destroyed them, yeah.
Now I rationalize that by saying, well, this is an offense. This is the outside of the 49ers, this is the first competent offense they've played. Mm-hmm. So, and I'm starting to question this defense for the Cowboys.
I like it. I'm going to join you on it. Just put a unit on it now and deal with the consequences that come.